This is an introduction to the lecture, The Quest for Spiritual Teachers, given on July 12, 1985, by Manly P. Hall. Please see the description for a link to the original audio recording and also a link to a PDF study guide.
So you're looking for a genuine spiritual path. It's a journey so many of us are on, right? We're trying to find our way in this crazy world. Well, today we're diving deep into that very question. And you know what? The answer might be a whole lot closer to home than you think. This is it. This is usually the first question we ask. Where can I find a good teacher? And it comes from such a real, sincere place. We want guidance. We want truth. But what if we're asking the wrong question? What if the first step isn't about finding someone else, but about building something inside ourselves? And that brings us to what is without a doubt the number one rule for any real spiritual path: self-reliance. It all boils down to this: your growth is your job, 100%. Nobody else can walk this path for you. You've got to do the work yourself. This really flips the whole idea of a teacher on its head, doesn't it? Their job isn't to hand you enlightenment on a silver platter. Nope. A true teacher is there to inspire you. They're like a spark, meant to light the fire within you so that you can do your own work. The real transformation always, always has to come from within. So you've got these two very different roads. On one side, you have the teacher as a source of inspiration, a guidepost. And on the other, you've got what our source calls the great pitfall. This is the promise of an easy, painless path. And let me tell you, that is a massive red flag. Anyone trying to sell you a shortcut around personal effort, well, they're probably not selling anything real. Because here's the unchangeable reality: there are no shortcuts. Real, deep, lasting progress only comes when you turn around and face your own stuff head on. You can't spiritually bypass your problems. You have to earn your own destiny. And yeah, that's a huge responsibility. But you know what? It's also incredibly empowering. Okay, so if the work is all on us, where in the world do we even begin? Well, the material we're looking at today frames it beautifully. It's about building the 4 foundations of your own inner temple. I love that metaphor. It's not some floaty, abstract idea. It's about building something solid, something real, from the ground up. And here they are, laid out like a ladder. And this part is absolutely crucial. You have to climb them in order. So many of us try to jump straight to the top, right? We want the big mental insights, the spiritual highs. But you just can't work on your mind if your emotions are a wreck. And you can't stabilize your emotions if your energy is all over the place or if your physical body is neglected. Each step is the foundation for the next. So foundation number 1, the physical body. Yep, all this high-minded spiritual work starts right here in the flesh. This is about dropping the habits you know are hurting you, finding a sense of moderation in your life, and maybe most importantly, learning to make a friend of your body. It's not a machine to be pushed or an enemy to be conquered. It's your partner on this whole journey. You have to respect it. Now, once the body is stable, we move on to our energy. The key practice here is something called quietude. And this isn't just about not talking. Think of your life force, your vital energy, like water in a bucket. Quietude is about plugging the holes. It's about stopping the constant drain of energy that comes from needless worry, gossip, pointless actions, and losing your temper. You have to conserve that energy because you're going to need it for the next steps. And now we get to what's often the toughest foundation for all of us: our emotional nature. You just can't be seeking some higher truth while you're still clinging to things like hatred, resentment, or deep-seated selfishness. They just don't mix. The work here is a conscious, deliberate shift, moving away from aggression and towards forgiveness, away from selfishness and towards generosity, and out of hate and into kindness. And this really gets to the heart of what to do with all our past pain. The goal isn't to ignore it or just complain about it forever. The goal is alchemical. It's about taking the heavy, dense lead of our painful memories and transforming it into the shining gold of wisdom and integrity. Every old wound, every misfortune, becomes fuel for growth. And finally, we arrive at the top of the ladder: the mind. Our minds are these incredible, powerful tools, but we have to ask ourselves a really honest question here. How are we using it? Is my mind a tool that's helping me to grow, to understand myself and the world better? Or is it just a clever servant I use to justify my own laziness and get what I want? So once you start working on these foundations, the focus has to shift inward again. We've talked about the how, the practical steps, but now we have to get brutally honest about the why. What is your real motive for even wanting to do this? What's really driving you? So, what is the only motive that truly holds up? According to this wisdom, it's this: a sincere, 100% dedication to something so much bigger than yourself. It's not about making more money or fixing your personal problems or feeling special. It's about seeking union with the greater reality that you are already a part of. To put it simply, the real journey is always from me to we. The whole point is to grow so that you can be of service, not just to make yourself feel better or to escape your life. It's about moving completely beyond the ego's narrow little agenda. Okay, so let's say you've been doing this work. You're building your foundations. You've clarified your motive. Now, if you still feel the need to look for a teacher or a group, how do you do it without getting led astray? Let's get into some really practical, down-to-earth advice. This might be the single best piece of practical advice you will ever get on this topic: the 1-year rule. Before you join anything, before you commit, just observe for at least 1 full year. Don't get swept up in charisma or promises. Just watch patiently. Because over time, people's actions will always, always show you their true character. And while you're observing for that year, here's the checklist you should be using. Look at the people in the group. Do they actually live with integrity, or do they just talk about it? Is real kindness growing among them? Is the bond that holds them together genuine friendship, or is it fear or some kind of hierarchy? Are they actually working for a good cause in the world? This is your litmus test, and it'll help you spot the groups that create dependency instead of real empowerment. But here is the most beautiful part of all this. You don't have to wait for some perfect teacher to show up to begin your studies. The greatest, most reliable guides are already here for you right now. You have the lessons of history, you have the universal principle of kindness, and you have the unwavering compass of your own integrity. You can start learning from them today. And that leads us to this timeless piece of wisdom that should really put your mind at ease. When the disciple is ready, the teacher is there. See, if you just focus on the work, on building those 4 foundations, on clarifying your motive with total sincerity, the right guidance will find you. It's like a law of nature. The frantic search isn't necessary. The diligent preparation is. So we'll leave you with this final thought, a question that kind of reframes this whole entire quest. Maybe the real goal isn't to go out there and find the right path. Maybe the real work is to become the kind of person who is worthy of a path finding them. And that is a journey you can start right now.